On today's show, the LA Clippers continued their red-hot form with another win, this time against the San Antonio Spurs at the Intuit Dome, making it 4 wins out of 4 on this homestand with one game left. What were the keys to getting this W? And Ivica Zubac. Going to be talking about it all on today's Locked On Clippers.
You are Locked On Clippers, your daily Los Angeles Clippers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, sir. You were locking in with the Clips. Thank you for making Locked On Clippers the first listen of your day, your team every day. I'm your host, Darian Vaziri, born and raised in LA, been a Clipper fan for 20, been covering the Clippers from my own YouTube channel, Dime Dropper, for 5, and Locked On Clippers right here for 3. You can also listen to read the Locked On Clippers daily newsletter written by yours truly at lockedondaily.com. Make sure you sign up for that. And that's what in this episode we're going to be talking about Zubac's amazing performance, what Norm looks like when Kawhi doesn't play, because it really changes his role in my opinion, and how we've been playing on this home stand. So, Clipper Nation, I was at the game last night, and again, I know what you're wondering. You are the biggest liar in the world. You said you would have episodes for us in the morning. And look, before the game last night, I got a ticket offer from my man Jason, who's always, right by the court. So I was like, man, I can't really turn that down. But whenever I'm down there, it's just such an experience for me because I'm not that used to it, that I don't, for periods of the game, pay as much attention the same way I do when I sit in the swell with a little bit more of a zoomed out view, because I'm just looking at like even on dead balls, like you have a chance to say something to the players and the refs. Like that's the craziest part about it for me. Like I was able to get Chris Paul and Jordan McLaughlin's attention yesterday, so I thought that was funny, but I wasn't able to really process it all. And then going back to my seat, the beginning of the third quarter, I was late, and by the time I came back, it was a neck and neck game the entire first half. Now we're up 14, so I was like, I gotta go back home, watch it all, and process it all. And I wanted to say this, but I'm gonna attempt Thursday again. Sorry, guys. Just getting back in the swing of things. I got to get back in the swing of things before the playoffs, and then we'll be good. But I feel awful apologizing at the start of every episode, which is bad. But anyway, you know who doesn't have to apologize for anything? Ivica Zubac, because this guy just absolutely continues to dominate. I had a third row seat and seeing him kill Bismack Biyombo and everybody that the San Antonio Spurs put out there against him. Of course, this is a San Antonio Spurs team that does not have Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox out for the rest of the season. And, that really killed their chances of making it to the play-in because they were in the race the entire time that Wemby was healthy. But Ivica Zubac had another 20-20 game. And this guy just continues to be an absolute monster. To be exact, 24 points, 20 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 2 turnovers on 11 for 17 shooting from the field, and made both his free throws in 39 minutes. 11 for 17. This guy his touch around the basket has become unbelievable. And with both hands, he's a real guy that we could dump the ball down to and ask him to go get a bucket. And it's gone to that point where it's not just on mismatches that we're throwing him the ball. We are looking at him to create against his opposing number like an old school center. Throw it down to him on that left block, let him work. Try to get to that right-hand jump hook. If they're cutting it off, now he's got that left-hand jump hook. You really don't need much else. He's 7 feet tall. It's easy to, when you're that tall, you can get shots off. It's a matter of if it's going in. And when you have that kind of touch, that's how you become unstoppable. So what can Zoo's numbers be going next year or the year after that? I honestly don't know. I think he's only going to get better because now we have so much more evidence that he is that good and he can be trusted with that bigger role. It's just he's clearly, after James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, the next option offensively to create, to give it down in the post. And again, it's taken the coaching staff too long, but we got to give them credit for them eventually doing it. They're finally buying into it. I know it's something that the fans have seen for a while, but I'm one of those guys that you got to give the coach blame when they make mistakes, but you also got to give them credit when they do things. And, even if it's blatantly obvious, I think they've empowered him. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that we as fans aren't super tapped into in terms of the chemistry of a team and motivating individual players and having good relationships with players in an era where so many guys are disgruntled and so many guys are making so much money. And, you could say just with more money comes the more entitlement compared to the past when, you're flying commercial, depending on how far you want to go back and all that. It's tough. It's the player empowerment era. So you got to keep players locked in. And that's something that Ty Lue has done an amazing job of with the Clippers. There are eventually some guys, Reggie Jackson, Russell Westbrook, Marcus Morris, who had a lot of pride and they didn't like their roles. I think Russell Westbrook, that's a different conversation because with Reggie Jackson and Marcus Morris, they had not played well. So then they got benched. Russell Westbrook, they chose to go with James Harden over him as, upgrade at that position, which it was. But Russell Westbrook played well, with Kawhi, with Paul George. So that's why I could understand him being a little hard done by. But besides those three guys, really, John Wall is like in the Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris camp. Like he didn't really have a case. Everybody else has liked Ty Lue, has said great things about him, and he's gone the most out of guys. He's basically, Nico Batum says that he has revived his career. And, James Harden clearly likes playing under him. Kawhi Leonard has re-signed multiple times playing under him. I don't think Paul George and Ty Lue had beef at any point. Not that it was reported or anything like that. They probably had arguments, of course, but that's what, this is all about. That's what competing with each other is all about. Reggie Jackson, for example, even Reggie Jackson and Marcus Morris, Ty Lue, he clearly, he had them playing some of the best ball of their careers. So now it's Zoo's turn. He's playing amazing. This game was interesting where the first half we were neck and neck the whole way because Harrison Barnes came out hot and they were making some shots and we weren't super lights out to begin the game. Both teams were playing drop coverage primarily and we were missing some good looks from three. After the first quarter, it was 28-26 us, and then we tied 26-26 in the second quarter. So we had a 2-point lead, 54-52 going into the second half, and then it was that beginning of that third quarter where we just turned up. It was 5 quick points for Norman Powell, an 11-0 run to start the quarter, a lot of Harden, Zubac pick and roll in there, and stops, finally starting to get some stops, and that led to transition offense. Derrick Jones Jr. dunking and all that, and then the Spurs made a little fake push, and Norm Harden and Zoo closed it out. So Clippers won it after another little fake run at the end by the third string players of the Spurs to make it 122-117. But the Clippers get it done, make it 5 wins in a row, 4 straight in this homestand, and 15 out of the last 18 games. And coming up, I'm going to be talking about what I saw from Norman Powell and what I think, how his role changes when Kawhi doesn't play. Going to be talking about that coming up. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Taking care of your mental health is just as important as taking care of your physical health. But traditional in-person therapy can be expensive, often ranging from $100 to $250 per session. That's where BetterHelp comes in. With online therapy, you get quality care at a price that makes sense, saving you time and money. Therapy isn't just for life's toughest moments. It can help with everyday stress, learning how to set boundaries, or developing positive coping skills. Having access to support when you need it can make a big difference. Your well-being is worth it. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. All right, talking about the big fella, Ivica Zubac, rocking the jersey over here. Yeah, Zoo is playing at such a high level, but Norman Powell, he looks a little different when Kawhi Leonard doesn't play, and it's kind of just a result of his role being increased. You know what I'm saying? He's getting more plays drawn up for him where he's coming off the curl, he's coming off those, stagger screens and getting the ball going to his right. Those kind of things are just in general, you get more James Harden, drive and kick, and it's less Kawhi isolation. Because a lot of the Kawhi isolations just end up resulting in Kawhi shots. I'd say more of the James Harden isolations end up resulting in either a three or drive and kick situation or drive and dish. But his role just increases in that way. We look to get him more shots. This is the natural way things go. But this season without Kawhi, Norman Powell is averaging 25 points a game. With Kawhi, he's averaging, let's see, 18 and a half. So, that makes sense. That's I thought it would be lower. He's played 25 games with Kawhi this season, and he's averaging 18 and a half points. I'd take that. But that's the thing I'll say is it's so easy for Norm to just increase his role, increase his volume when Kawhi sits or Kawhi's not playing. And we saw that, obviously the entire season. And he's been amazing this season. And he was able to do some of the things that we've seen him do all season last night, making some open shots, trying to get downhill. Definitely trying to split the defense a little too much. Sometimes maybe a little sketch, but those first 5 quick points to begin that third quarter, I think really spark plugged our run. And, he was able to get to the basket a good amount. He ended up he was guarding Chris Paul most of the game. We had Chris Dunn and Derrick Jones Jr., who both started guarding Castle and Vassell. But Norm had 25 points. He was our leading scorer. He had 5 rebounds, 3 assists, did turn the ball over 3 times, and shot 9 for 19 from the field, 3 for 7 from 3, and 4 for 6 from the foul line in 41 minutes. 41 minutes is a lot, especially considering we're playing on Wednesday against the Rockets, but they're going to be sitting a bunch of players since they locked up the 2 seed, which is amazing. Shout out to them. I don't think anybody expected them to get the 2 seed. So it looks like we're going to be swapping picks with OKC this year, which is unfortunate. But, hey, man, we have a chance to do something here in the playoffs. Norman Powell's going to be a part of that. And, it wasn't a great performance by us. I thought our defense wasn't great at the point of attack compared to most games. I don't know why, but there was also some hot shooting from the Spurs. They ended up shooting 53% from the field and 40.5% from 3 and still lost, partially because they turned the ball over 16 times and they shot a putrid 62.5% from the free throw line. 17 times. Both teams turned the ball over 17 times, and that's partially why we didn't, blow them out, in my opinion, is that first half was just so back and forth, no runs being made, really, and then that third quarter, we outscored them 37-26. So, anything, all you got to do is get the job done, you know what I'm saying? Anything to get the job done. We've had impressive wins, we've had some shaky wins, but it's all about just stacking them up at this stage. 15 out of the last 18 with 3 games left until postseason basketball. And now we're in the 4th seed right now. Like, are you kidding me? I'll talk about that more in the last segment. But, it's all about getting the W. And Norm looking good. You have James Harden getting downhill, making plays. Nicholas Batum hitting the 3 ball. Derrick Jones Jr. flying all over the place, had 3 straight buckets in that stretch of that third quarter where we kind of, created separation. Seeing Derrick Jones Jr. Finish alley-oops is a sight to see in person because you just know when it's coming. Harden's a great lob passer. And Harden had a, very solid game passing the basketball as usual. He had a really solid third quarter. So eventually you knew that our quality on the court was going to be more than, this injured San Antonio team. Looking at the lines, Derrick Jones Jr. had 18 points. So we had 5 guys with 18 or more points. James, Norm, Zoo, DJ, and Bogey. Derek had 18 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, no turnovers on 8 for 15 shooting, 1 for 5 from 3. So we shot 52% from the field and 47% from 3. So we shot really well too. Another game we just shoot really well from 3, but only 30 attempts. So not super high volume, which has been kind of a theme in a lot of these games that we've shot really well from 3. And then 75% from the free throw line. So we didn't shoot, well, it was 12 for 16. 2 misses from Norm and 1 from Harden, and then another from Bogey, guys that you don't really expect to miss free throws. So we could have been a little better there. I think turnovers are the biggest stat I would look at if I'm a Clipper fan, which I am. Derek Jones played awesome, though. I mean, he's just great. What a season. Best season of his career. And I love when you get to say as a fan, oh, he had his best season with the Clippers. One time, I should maybe just dedicate an episode talking about which guys had the best seasons with the Clippers. And then we have James Harden, who just continues to be that engine, that system, that work that we rely on and that works and gets the job done every night and carries that offensive load and playmaking load. Almost a triple-double, 21 points, 9 rebounds, 12 assists on 8 for 17 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3 in 38 minutes. What a season for James. I mean, very efficient there. I mean, outside of the free throws, he probably wishes he could have made that free throw. 50% from 3, 8 for 17 from the field. I mean, the way this guy has played since that 50-point game, I mean, that way that game started all this, you got to give him a lot of credit. You've got to give him a lot of credit. I think there's no doubt he should be an All-NBA player. Jimmy Butler has helped Steph Curry propel his name in that conversation, but there's no, De'Aaron Fox isn't in the mix this year. Trae Young over James Harden, I don't know about that, even though I feel like Trae Young gets snubbed from a lot of stuff and we become numb to how solid he is. Jalen Brunson, I mean, how many games has he missed? Let me take a look at that. But, like, who else is there? Tyrese Maxey's out. Jalen Brunson has played 63 games, and the Knicks have 3 games that he's going to play them. Okay, so Jalen Brunson will be All-NBA. That doesn't take away from Harden. We can get him all in there. So he definitely should be there. I haven't, sat down and wrote 15 names. If it's a Zubac, should honestly be getting some consideration as well, but it's all about winning the ball game. And coming up, I'm going to be talking about what that win does. And we're taking a look at the standings. And how about some Bogey? How about some Nico? We're going to be talking about those guys coming up as well. I got to tell you a little something about Robinhood. With Robinhood Gold, you can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. The privileges of the very privileged are no longer exclusive. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%. Plus, you also get 4% APY on your cash and non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive your 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rates subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 per month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. All right. So the Clips winning it 122-117. Get their 47th win of the season, tying the 06 Clippers in wins. And speaking of the 06 Clippers, Ivica Zubac joins EB Elton Brand as the only Clipper to have 20-plus points, 20-plus boards, and 5-plus assists in a game in the last 40 years. You know why they said 40 years? Probably because of the dew. You would think Bob McAdoo, I would assume, had done something like that. That's why they did that cutoff. But Elton Brand did it 3 times. So hopefully there's more 2020 in 5 games in Zoo's future. But all I care about is wins. But it's awesome. I mean, Elton Brand did some awesome things for us. I no longer have my Elton Brand jersey, but in spirit, that guy is part of the reason I'm a Clipper fan to this day. So even though he backstabbed us, I've gotten over it. And should Elton Brand get his number retired? I told CP3 when he was walking past, when I was walking out the arena, I was like, hey, Chris, thanks for everything you did. And he said, appreciate it. So that was my first time ever actually, like, believe it or not, even though I was a Clipper fan all those years and, going to games, I never sat close enough to, like, actually get CP's attention anytime. Like, I've actually shook Blake Griffin's hand, met him. DJ, same thing, but never Chris Paul. So I don't know. The little kid in me was excited there. But I'm not the one. How do you guys feel about CP3? I feel like I've asked this question in the comments before, but how do Clipper fans feel about CP3? Because I just think it's insane to be. I know he has antics and stuff, and I don't know. Anyway, he's still arguably the Clippers GOAT for me. It's either him or Blake. He did a lot for us. Anyway, let's talk about what we can do now. And we got 3 games left. Houston, Sacramento, Golden State. Houston having the 2nd seed locked up is amazing, as I've already said. Insane. But they're going to be resting a lot of guys most likely. So we got to get this win. Is Kawhi going to play? It's fan appreciation night. It's the last game at Intuit Dome for this regular season. Definitely won't be the last game at Intuit Dome. Oh, man. It is going to be fun to have a postseason experience at Intuit. Even if it's playing postseason, we're about to turn that shit up. I mean, it's going to be insane. But so I said before we had this last 7-game stretch, this 5-game homestand plus this NorCal double dose, we needed to win 5 of them for me to be confident about, we're at least going to get the 7th seed. At least we're hosting games at Intuit and guaranteed to. I guess you can still host games if you're the 8th seed, because if you lose that first game, you would host it against the winner of the 9-10. So I guess top 8. So we are guaranteed to host a game at Intuit in the postseason, but obviously we want to get there in the playoffs outright. We don't want to do that playing business. So we're just going to read the lines real quick before I look at the standings. But I was saying about the 7 games. We needed to win 5 of them, in my opinion. We're 4-0 so far. So I think we're going to do what I said, and that's why it's looking good. So we'll talk about the standings in just 1 second. But Chris Dunn was our 5th starter. He had 6 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, 3 steals, 2 for 4 from 3. So it was really nice to see that. He was 2 for 6 overall in 28 minutes. Nico was looking good, knocking down his shots. Some of them weren't even like wide open threes. I know because I was sitting right there. 9 points, 2 boards on 3 for 5, and all his shots were threes. Ben Simmons, he had some good moments of pushing pace and rebounding. 7 rebounds, 0 points, 2 assists, 1 turnover. He was 0 for 3. But I think he took good shots. And then Bogey. Just another game where in that second half, he just slowly starts cooking and shots start falling. He's able to just showcase what he can do in terms of creating his own shot, playmaking and pick and roll, being able to hit shots from all 3 levels, also playing off the catch. I mean, I really think that when you look at Bogey and you look at Norm, and you look at their best seasons of their careers, I think this Norm season is better than any Bogey season. But if you look at the last 3 seasons, they've basically been the similar player in the sense that they're just guys that come off the bench, can give you instant offense. But I think Bogey actually can give you a little more in the sense that he can create his own shot and he can play, make and pick and roll, which Norm struggles with. So is Bogey better than Norm? I think that's honestly a debate. I think Norm is a great fit next to Harden to play off the catch, and he has such a great scoring appetite. And his ability to get to the line, I think, is what makes him a better scorer than Bogey. But it's a tough – basically what I'm saying is the big 3 of Harden, Zoo, and Kawhi should be non-negotiable closers. There should be honestly, small ball's great, but Zubac, there's no argument anymore for him not to be on the floor to close. Unless he's getting completely destroyed in a 5-out kind of offensive scheme, I don't see any argument for Zoo to not be in the game. late and when it matters. So you get those three automatically: Harden, Kawhi, and Zoo. I see you got to get at least one of those point of attack specialists and Chris or DJ in there, and then Norm or Bogey. I don't think Norm is a guarantee, honestly, with how good Bogey is. Not especially because if Norm's not hitting his shots, he's not giving you much else. 19 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists for Bogey on 7 for 11 shooting, 2 for 3 from deep, and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. He continues to be great. Let's take a look, though, at what this win did. 29-11 at home. A vlog of the game will be out on my YouTube channel, Dime Dropper. So check that out. Got some interviews from the fan. 3rd row seats, so really awesome. But I'll be at Fan Appreciation Night, last game of the season at Intuit. It's been an amazing first year in this arena. I mean, I've cherished it. It's been an insane year for LA, for me. Not in a good way, but there's been some great times, and I really appreciate Intuit and all the Clipper fans and, what everyone's done for me. So it's really been great. And the Clippers for what they've done for me. So it's been an awesome season, and the team has played hard, and you really got to appreciate that. So we take a look at the standings now with 3 games remaining for us: Houston, and then the Golden State and Sacramento, NorCal trip. Sacramento Kings are locked into the play-in. They will either be getting the 9th seed or the 10th seed. The Phoenix Suns are on the brink. If the Dallas Mavericks beat the Lakers on Wednesday night, they're donezo. They're absolutely donezo. They wouldn't even make the play-in. Oh, my God. I just relish their embarrassment. But honestly, I want them to get embarrassed in the playoffs and everyone's watching. This is like too embarrassing, but sucks to suck. They've lost 7 straight games. How can Devin Booker and Kevin Durant not come up with 1 win when their season's on the line? They can go out for 30. I guess that would only be 60 points each if they each score 30, but come on. Really? You can't get 2 games those 2 guys? Even if everyone else is garbage. Really? Harden and Zoo have been able to do it. How can you guys not do it? Anyway, we are now the 4th seed behind our noisy neighbors that are 1 game above us in the 3 seed. They're 48-31. We're 47-32. The Rockets have clinched the 2 seed. Wow. That's insane. The Thunder and the Rockets are the top 2 seeds. It just shows you how young the league is and how young teams in the regular season, mainly because of health, in my opinion, are set up to really win in this era. It's really all about health. The Lakers are 3rd. We're 4th right now. Tied with the Nuggets, tied with the Warriors, and tied with the Grizzlies. There's a 4-way tie. And then Minnesota with the loss, they're now 1 game behind everyone. So that's huge. We needed them out of there. I mean, I would love to finish 4th seed with home court against Denver. And then the Lakers on the other side of the bracket. So you set up if we make a potential Western Conference Finals Battle of LA. I mean, that is just written in the stars. But then we'd have to play the Thunder second round. That would be difficult. But that's also an amazing story for the NBA. The teams that made the trade 6 years later, it would be a great storyline. And honestly, it's this would be the moment to validate who's going to win the trade. If we win, we beat you, and you've done all this nonsense, and we'd make it to the conference finals twice while you guys have made it 0 times. And we'd upset them, so we'd be the ultimate win for us. That we honestly be yeah, maybe we didn't lose the trade, honestly. But if we lose to them, then it's going to be the biggest. Yeah, we everybody knows that the Clippers have now lost the trade. Now we're going to throw some salt in your wound with Shea beating you. So that would be tough. But I'm okay with it. When you get to the second round in the NBA, you are going to play championship contenders. So that's just how it goes. I only do the whole seeding thing for first round. After that, it's you beggars cannot be choosers. Once you win, I always only look at first round because the thing is, if your team wins a first round series, you have positive momentum. It's hard to win playoff series in the NBA. It is hard. It's not like March Madness. And I'm not saying it's not hard to win in the NFL and all these other sports, but the single elimination thing, it's way different. And it's hard to win series in the NBA. You have to really have a good team. You have to have the guys to do it. You have to have the guy. A lot of these teams have the guy. SGA on the 1st seed. LeBron and Luka, they have 2 guys on the 3rd seed. We have Kawhi as our guy. And then you say Harden as well. Denver's got Jokic as their guy. Golden State's got Curry as their guy. Memphis is Memphis. Minnesota's got the Ant-Man as their guy. So Houston is the team that doesn't have a guy like that. Şengün is great. They have a lot of good players over there, but that's going to be one of the things people are going to discount them for is I don't think Houston's going to get, unless they play the Grizzlies, I don't think Houston will get picked to win any of their series because of the experience. I just don't think teams will pick them. Or people will pick them, I should say, to win their first series. I think this has been an amazing season for them, but I also could be underestimating them because their defense is fantastic. It's going to be fun playoffs. The West is going to be great. I mean, I'm not one of those people that's a prisoner of the moment going to say, oh, man, the West is going to be insane this year. Like, it's going to be the best year in years. Like, we say that every year because the West is always great. So I think every year is just amazing in the West for the most part. There have been some off years. But before the playoffs start, we always look at the standings in the West, at least in my lifetime, in my 20 years as a basketball fan, I'd say about 15 of those have been, man, the West is going to be crazy this year. It's the Wild Wild West. I mean, look at the standings. I mean, it's going to be a bloodbath in the playoffs in the West this year. Like, the West is going to be the best we've seen in years. This is going to be the best playoffs we've seen in years. Like, it's always great, you know? Last year, though, I will say, the finals sucked. The conference finals sucked. Like, it was good basketball, but, like, short and, like, not competitive series in the grand scheme of things. Second round, what do we have? Celtics versus Cavs. That series was, I mean, guys got hurt. So that wasn't very fun. Indiana, New York was a good series. Dallas versus OKC was a great series. And then the other one was Minnesota, Denver was one of the, for the ages. Second round, I mean, the second round just delivers. But the first round's also great because everybody's involved. We want to be involved. So looking at our standings, I mean, fourth seed is insane. That would be awesome to host Denver. I said on the last episode, and that was, by the way, I said that, let's bring me Denver, and then Mike Malone gets fired. Like, what? Are you kidding me? So anyway, I mean, it's going to be crazy. So let's just take care of business. We got to just control what we can control. Now we're in a situation where we might get home court advantage after all this stuff this season. So let's just beat the Rockets, and then we'll go 48-32. Luka's making his return to Dallas on Wednesdays. That should be interesting. Emotionally charged game. AD playing his former team. So we'll just see what happens there. It's a win-win situation. Either the Lakers lose and now we're tied with them, or the Mavericks beat the Lakers and then the Suns are eliminated from everything. So, I mean, it's a good time to be a Clipper fan, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you at Intuit Dome tonight, Clipper Nation. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DimeDropperPod. Subscribe to my own YouTube channel, Dime Dropper, where a vlog will be out in a matter of hours after this episode is released. And yeah, sign up for the Locked On Clippers daily newsletter at LockedOnDaily.com. The age-old proverb continues, go Clippers.